Welcome to the IDP Plus Touchdown Props Podcast, where if you're looking for anytime touchdown bets to place on any given week of the NFL season, or specifically the divisional round of the NFL playoffs, you've come to the right place. I'm Axton. Stick around, just a sec, I'll get into some of my favorite anytime touchdown props for the divisional round of the NFL playoffs. Welcome back to another week of the IDP Plus Touchdown Props podcast, where every week I've just been laying out a parlay buffet of sorts of just anytime touchdown scores that I like on any given week. Just kind of doing some research, doing some write-ups, and just kind of letting you guys know any streaks that I found, good matchups, some hot plays for any given week. Hear me out. If anything strikes a chord, feel free to throw it into your bet slip. If you want to put a little wager on any one of these guys, let me know. Throw your stuff in the comments. I want to hear about it all. So we're gonna switch it up, do things a little bit different this week. Not and For the most part, everything's gonna be structured the same, but I'm attacking it from a little bit different way this week. We're not gonna go with as many chalk plays this week, and we're gonna switch it up just a little bit. But I'll show you what I'm getting into in just a sec. I do want to preface this, much like every week. If you've been here before, you've kind of heard this before. If you're new, I always start out my shows by saying these aren't even really suggestions for you all. It's more or less research I've done to place bets of my own, and I'm just laying that research out there for y'all, so you don't have to do the research. You don't have to grind through the numbers. It's all out there. Take it or leave it. You know what I mean? If you like it and it strikes a chord, throw it in your bet slip, add it to a parlay. If you don't, then that's okay too. It's no big deal. But I have some stake in one or more of these guys, and I've done some research. So at least give me a chance to hear me out. So, before we get into it, I just want to remind everyone to bet responsibly, set a limit, and stick to it. For help, call 1-800-GAMBLER. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this bad boy. Up first here, we've got a David Montgomery anytime touchdown, but it's not what you think, because obviously our chalk play anytime touchdowns have kind of been pretty juiced. You got to pay quite a penny to get a payout on an anytime David Montgomery touchdown. But if we can single it out to the first half, we're looking at plus money on about anybody. So we're going to single out David Montgomery anytime first half touchdown at plus 165. Detroit running backs are their odds are just so juiced. So this is kind of where we have to go around the books a little bit to get some plus juice on somebody we know can score the football. So I like this play for this week. This is the way kind of around those bad odds. So Detroit often gets the ground game established early in most games this season, namely in 3 of Monty's last 5 games that he played before he went down for the injury. He actually scored a touchdown in the first half of 3 of those 5. So like I said, oftentimes it's Jahmyr Gibbs or David Montgomery first half. Detroit gets the ground game going, and looking at this team, Detroit uses the ground game to set the tone and control games. That is their greatest strength. It's the ground game. Well, now they're playing a Commanders team in the playoffs who has their greatest weakness just so happens to be the greatest strength of the Detroit Lions. Have no doubt Detroit will look to establish the ground game early in this one. Washington has allowed the fourth most rushing touchdowns to running backs this season with 16. Gibbs and Monty are both plus money to score a touchdown in the first half. Gibbs was plus 115, but I am going to take a little extra payout on David Montgomery to score in the first half at plus 165. But I can't blame you for taking some Gibbs at plus 115 as well. Either way, I think one of the running backs scores in the first half of this game. So I like that play for the Lions game at the Commanders. I've actually got one from each of these games, and I've got a little honorable mention for y'all. So that was my one for the Lions and Commanders. I do also like Terry McLaurin. He's been absolutely on fire, and the Lions secondary is hot garbage. I just don't necessarily like to put too much stake in touchdowns on one team, especially if I'm looking to provide you guys with some plays here. So I just want to throw that out there. If you don't like a David Montgomery touchdown, Terry McLaurin for the Commanders ought to be one of the first ones on that side of the ball. But we'll get into the Philadelphia Eagles and the LA Rams game. Now we've got I'm going a little long on this one because of the chalk plays on this one. Like, Puka doesn't score that much. Cooper Kupp doesn't really get much look at all from Matt Stafford. I don't know what happened there, but he's kind of fallen off. And then you look at Saquon Barkley, no odds, and there's not really a correlation in first or second half. Same with Jalen Hurts on his anytime touchdown. He didn't score last week. I'm not really feeling as great about it this week, but you got to figure he's going to be looking to score. I kind of want to add a little extra payout on some of these plays. So we kept them all to plus odds. So we're going to go with Demarcus Robinson, anytime touchdown, plus 500 against the Eagles this week. Like I say, wanted to get some plus money on all these plays because the chalk plays just aren't really looking that great right now. So I think things are going to have to go a little bit outside the chalk plays for kind of the rest of the playoffs. Chalk plays just ain't going to do it. If you've been doing it all year, you're going to have to switch it up come playoff time because opposing defenses got your number. So Philadelphia secondary has been locked tight much of the season. Luckily, Demarcus Robinson is at best the wide receiver 3 and a non-factor to the Eagles. Stafford will be throwing the ball like his life depends on it. And the last time these two teams played, Demarcus Robinson did find pay dirt. He's got 7 touchdowns on the season, 2 games with multiple scores. And without a touchdown in 6 games, I think Robinson is way overdue. And considering the fact that he did find the end zone on the Eagles, I think maybe he can find those holes that this offense can exploit to score touchdowns because it is not going to be easy. The Eagles have been pretty stingy all year. So I think this is where Demarcus Robinson can break off past the secondary for some blown coverage and a big play in a big way. And at 5-1, I love Demarcus Robinson to finally break that 6-game no touchdown streak and find the end zone again here in the divisional round. Demarcus Robinson plus 500 for an anytime touchdown on that one. We're going to jump next into the Baltimore Ravens Buffalo Bills game. We've got a guy I played last week who didn't quite hit, but that's okay because oftentimes this year he has not gone 2 games in a row without scoring, and that's Mark Andrews with an anytime touchdown at plus 150. Against the Bills this week, he missed one last week, but that was following an 8-game touchdown streak. So we'll give him one to kind of break that long streak. It's not easy to score in 8 straight games. But again, this week we've got kind of a similar situation where Zay Flowers is out again. And this is a game where Buffalo's going to put up quite a bit better fight than the Steelers did. And Baltimore just won't be able to coast this game. So I think they're going to have to go to their go-to guys. You're going to see a lot of Derrick Henry. You're going to see a lot of Lamar Jackson. And I think Mark Andrews finds the end zone again. The books are still leaving Lamar's favorite target at plus money. And Lamar being the potential MVP that he is, I think this is crunch time, and he's going to be looking to his go-to guys. I think maybe Rashad Bateman's probably got a little hot lately, and Buffalo's probably going to be keying in on him, especially to keep him from breaking off some big plays. So I think Mark Andrews should be in a prime position to get back on track in that end zone and find pay dirt again. So matchups really don't matter with Andrews. He's Lamar's favorite red zone target, and I think he finds the end zone again this week. Plus 150 for Mark Andrews. Now, last but not least, we're going to dive into the Houston Texans KC Chiefs game, and we've got Travis playoff Kelce for an anytime touchdown at plus odds. Plus 150 is what this comes in at. This may be one of our last chances to get in on a Travis Kelce anytime touchdown, let alone at plus money. Playoff Kelce has scored in, get this, 12 of 16 playoff games dating back to 2019. He's only not scored in 4 playoff games dating back to 2019. That hit rate is insane. So I felt like Kansas City has to put Kelce. They've put Kelce on the shelf for much of the season to kind of test other players. If you've noticed, this is obviously in correlation with the last 5 years or so. Kelce's seen quite a bit of a drop in terms of production this season, but you've seen everybody else's production kind of go up, where Patrick Mahomes is great at spreading the ball. I think they've been kind of testing the capabilities of their other players this season, but I think now is the time for Kelce to take his turn and ramp it up when it counts most. Nonetheless, even though this team has been testing other places, they've been able to close out games. So now Kelsey gets to shine in the big moments. This team has everything to play for. The motivation is at its peak to go get that three-peat championship. So let's cash this playoff Kelsey anytime touchdown at plus 150 today against the Texans. I love that Travis Kelsey play this week, and I think the books are not hip on it. They're still counting on that season kind of production from him, but I think he ramps it up this week. That's going to wrap it up for the main part of the show, but I've got another long shot play I want to throw out for you guys. It's one you may not have looked at yet, but we're going to look at Mac Hollins here for an anytime touchdown against Buffalo. It's an honorable mention play, kind of more of a long shot, kind of like DeMarcus Robinson, but hear me out. That Mac Hollins leads the Buffalo Bills in touchdowns, so 7 this year. Baltimore's biggest weakness is the pass game, and Buffalo's strength is its run game, which just so happens to be Baltimore's greatest strength in the defensive market. So I think that James Cook and Josh Allen are not going to be able to just run loose like they have been much of this season. So they're going to have to pass the ball, and they're going to have to score touchdowns through the air to stay in this game with the Ravens. And Hollins being the wide receiver 3 on this depth chart in terms of just production, I don't imagine he's going to be much on Baltimore's radar. So I think Mac Hollins could be in a prime spot to catch an unexpected touchdown at some point in this game. And at 5-1, I will probably be sprinkling. I actually have already. I will be sprinkling more Mac Hollins into some of my plays this week. So at 5-1, I like that one for the Buffalo receivers leading touchdown score, 5-1. So that's going to wrap up the show. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Anybody who's a returning watcher, thank you for sticking around with me and checking things out. And for newcomers, I hope that I was able to strike a chord in some way. And I hope you like what you saw. If you do, I hope to see you back next week. If not, no hard feelings. I enjoy doing this for you all, so I hope you get a little bit of enjoyment out of it too. So again, if anything strikes a chord with you, throw it in the comments, like, subscribe. Go check out the website at idpplus.com. There's lots of great stuff over there. Support our creators over there. They're doing a lot of great work. So thanks again, everybody, and good luck out there for your divisional round of the NFL playoffs. And see you back next week for the semifinals of the NFL playoffs. So again, good luck, everybody. We'll see you next week.
Thank you for watching the IDP Plus YouTube network. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Be sure to tap the bell icon to get notified whenever we upload new content.